Hey guys, hopefully everybody's doing all right tonight. I just wanted to give a brief rundown of the push-up practice that we're going to do tomorrow. So basically, we're kind of at a point where we need to prioritize quality movement in the basics again. Our gym is growing. We've got a lot of new athletes. We've got a lot of veterans who can also use a revisit of what good high quality movement looks like. So first and foremost, push-ups. What muscle groups are we targeting? Upper body stuff, right? So pecs, shoulders, triceps, abs. That's the one that people forget a lot of times is abs. When we're doing push-ups, we should be maintaining a good plank position through the range of motion. When we start to deviate, drop our belly, arch our butt, do all kinds of weird worm stuff, we start to lose the benefit of training our abs in that movement. It also takes away from the range of motion at our shoulder, and that's a key piece here. The range of motion is ultimately what's going to help make this movement better than a lot of other things. So specifically, you have somebody that walks in the gym and they can't do a push-up. What are our options? Basically, we have just a couple of ways to scale. You can either do a knee push-up, but again, that's got to be a knee push-up with a straight, long body to get maximum benefit, or you can do an incline push-up. Low bar is fine too. If you need to use a box, a bench, low bar, set it up. Make sure it's progressible so that person can work through the problem. Now, a couple of things I want to show you for common faults with a beginner, okay? When it comes to people that come in and say, I can do a push-up, a lot of times we'll see super wide hands, super flared out elbows, and short range of motion. So it looks something like this. So hands are super wide. They typically have their butt up in the air, and they're just barely moving their body. Or if they are moving, they're even wider, and they're just not getting close to the ground, okay? Another thing that we commonly see is that drop of the hips, that disengagement of all those core muscles, and that's gonna look something like this. So that's a person who, as they go to do their push-up, their chest just never gets to the ground, and they're basically just doing like the upper half with their upper body, putting a lot of pressure on their low back. So for those people, what do? Well, first we try to prioritize how they're moving. Let's try to educate first. Hey, bring your hands in, elbows close to your body. Try to scrape the sides of your ribs with the inside of your elbow, something like that. If that's not working and they're still unable to do it because they're just not strong enough, reduce the movement down. Go to your knees, something like this. So this is a good example of a knee push-up, okay? So start in your plank, drop your knees, keep your body nice and long, chest all the way to the floor, and back up. Okay, again, chest all the way to the floor, and back up. The key is that the chest goes to the floor. We don't want to see knee push-ups like this, because now they're not getting the best benefit. So if they're going to do a half range of motion push-up, just decrease the load. Put their hands in a box, like this. When they do a box push-up, start on the highest side to make sure that they can do it, and then work down. Hands at that shoulder width. Body again in a straight line, chest all the way to the box and all the way off the box, okay? Again, notice that I'm keeping my body in a straight line. Ultimately, that's how we progress this movement, right? If that person can do the 30-inch height, go to 24. If they can do the 24, go to 20. If they can do 20, get them set up on a bench. Continue to progress down towards the floor. One of the reasons why we don't see hand release push-ups used in our gym a lot for a scale, they're just not that much better in terms of quality of movement. With a hand release push-up, we see a lot of this, where people go to the floor, hands up on their knees, and wave up. Now, it is a way to progress through the movement. If somebody simply just doesn't have the strength, this, control down, press up, pop up, control down, press up, pop up the knees, is a good way to get some of that baseline strength. The problem is, it's one of those things that teaches really bad habits. So we want to get away from that, okay? Now, to scale a push-up up, what do? Increase the range of motion, get a vest. Who needs to scale a push-up up? Truth be told, most people don't. Even a lot of our athletes that think that they're really good at push-ups, they're just not there. And a lot of times we see somebody who starts out good and they fall apart fast. You know, and a really common fault that you'll see is this one, where they go from good push-up, get tired, half push-ups, and then some weird like arch your back, half a push-up kind of thing. And again, that simply just doesn't cut it for us. So instead of telling people to progress up their push-ups, like truly most of our workouts are designed with more than enough volume to make it hard for people. Get the highest quality movement out of them, and I bet you they'll get enough out of it. Now, how do we break down push-ups? That's one of the pieces we want to talk about. In a workout, you're going to run into a problem where the early sets of push-ups feel really good. And then later in the workout, you just don't have any left in the tank. So stop short of that by a couple reps. 1, 2, 3, 4 reps, especially if it's a lot at a time, will allow you to do more sets at that number of reps rather than doing a hero set and then going down to 1 or 2s. Let me explain. So if somebody can do 10 push-ups when they're fresh, cool. In the workout, maybe they should stop at 6 or 7. So that way they can do 2 or 3 or 4 more sets in that workout before they hit that threshold where they just gas out. Push-ups, when they're gone, they're just gone. And it happens to everybody. So let's go over a good high quality push-up. We'll do a couple more faults, and then hopefully this video will help you guys for tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with the squat one coming up later this week. So good high quality push-ups. What we wanna see is chest all the way to the floor, chest leading the movement, belly not leading the movement. Now, what do I mean by that? So chest leading the movement looks like this. My chest hits the floor, I still have space under my hips, and I can press off. If your belly's leading the movement, you're gonna sag down, belly hits the floor, then chest hits, and then up you come. You know what, I'm gonna back up a little bit so you guys can see that better. So, if the chest is leading the movement, got a barbell rolling at me. If the chest is leading the movement, I can touch the ground, come back up, my hips are not touching the ground, okay? If my belly's leading, my belly and my hips will hit, and my shoulders will stay up off the ground. So what I wanna do is I wanna make sure that person keeps their abs on tight, and they actually rotate their hips a little bit. So, at the top of the movement, instead of sagging the butt down and losing that position, keep the butt up so the shoulders and hips are in a line, and then do your push-up, okay? Another common fault that we see is the wave push-ups. That's where somebody gets to the ground, they push off of their knees, and then they zigzag up. Looks something like this. Let me move that bar real quick. So that wave push-up that we see a lot looks just like this. Comes down, looks pretty good. Comes off of the knees, and then pops up. Comes down, looks pretty good. Off the knees, and that person pops up. Again, it's just an issue of fatigue. A lot of times people don't realize that they're doing it. So this is a good opportunity for us to fix that. Teach them the right way to do this so we can actually get better at push-ups. So many people think that they can do 15, 20 push-ups at a time. And if we put a standard to it, they're just not gonna make it. Okay, next one, shoulders and elbows flaring. So on this one, I'm gonna turn just a little bit so you guys can see. Check this out, I come down, as I get tired, my elbows are flaring out. My wrists are turned in a bad spot, I'm just not strong here. So I come down, wrists and elbows are turning flared out. Oh, gross. What do? Bring the grip in a little bit, tuck the elbows at your side, keep your shoulders packed down. So hands in, elbows go towards the body, straight back up. That's the easiest position for the shoulders to be in, and ultimately it's gonna make you stronger. So hopefully this helped, guys. If you have any questions, shoot me a text message. I'll be more than happy to help you out. We're gonna do the same thing with the squat clinic later this week. We just gotta continue to work on prioritizing quality over quantity or speed. So have a good rest of your night, guys. We'll see you in the gym. Thanks.